If you enjoyed this program, please like and subscribe. I don't believe this is historical at all. You're welcome. If you want to believe it's historical, fine. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. At the moment it matters, you don't understand it.
And tonight's caller, you are live on the air. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Caller, you're live on the air. Go ahead with your question.
Hello, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
So my question is what the rabbi's thoughts are on connecting or possibly the three temptations being about the three rebellions of Genesis 3, 6, and 11.
Explain that just a little bit, if you don't mind, for the viewer.
The reason why Genesis 3 is that Jesus refers to what God says, where the case of the serpent asks, did God really say? And Genesis 6 being about angels and that supernatural interpretation that the book of Enoch speaks about. And then Genesis 11 being about all the kingdoms of the earth.
Where are angels ever mentioned in Genesis 6, and as an example? Vayiru v'nei Elohim es b'nei Sodom. People are called the sons of Hashem. Havu Hashem b'nei Elim. It just means people who are powerful. What is the context there? Men who are very powerful rape women who are very beautiful but are not powerful. Genesis 6, our context, why was there a flood? Like, what was wrong with the world that God was going to destroy it? Okay? Well, what was wrong is that the men who were very powerful, who raped women that were, while attractive, were not powerful and forced them to have their babies. Okay? So these guys were all destroyed. Were angels destroyed in the flood? No. The reason why people have trouble with what I am saying is because they're not familiar with the parlance of Tanakh. But in Tanakh, B'nai Elohim or Elohim means people who are powerful. As an example, Exodus 21, Exodus 22. Judges are called Elohim. It's all over Tanakh, and you're very careful with this. Angels did not rape women. In the ancient world, this is conceivable, pun intended, because they were thought there were such powerful people out there that Zeus could have intercourse with Hercules' mother while Hercules' father was away on the battlefield. But that's in that crazy world, okay? Now, I know what's going to happen. I know the problem somebody's watching this gonna think of, and that is there's a midrash that says that angels went and asked God, said to God, "Can we?" This is a mashal, meaning it's a parable. You could take it literally if you want to. You're welcome to. I don't believe it's literal at all, but it's not heretical to think it literally happened. But people are missing what's going on there. Because I know someone's going to ask this question. So the story goes, it comes from midrashic literature, that angels came before God. So the world was doing really terribly. These angels come before God and say, you know what, if you make us human, we'll handle this situation really well, okay? And God does that. He makes them, He undoes their angelic nature, makes them human, and they mess up, and they do exactly this. And you're going, oh, that's a very weird story, Rabbi. It is if you're watching this broadcast as though you're watching Bugs Bunny or Casper the Friendly Ghost, like cartoons, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like fantasy, not just fiction, but this sounds crazy, infantile, juvenile, sophomoric, weird. but it's brilliant. It's so brilliant. So I wanted to show you how a midrashic literature, what is meant to happen, what is it meant to convey. What is the chapter before Genesis chapter 6? Genesis 5. Oh. And we're told something very important in Genesis 5. It's the genealogical record of Adam Harishon, the first Adam, right? And we're introduced to his family. Both men and woman are called Adam. Adam is the only term for mankind that only means mankind and nothing else. El can mean something else. Be very careful. Don't let this can become a game. And you can always know this, that Adam means mankind, male or female, because it comes from the word Adama, which means the earth. And therefore, there's no plural for it. There's a plural for Gever. There's a plural for all these other names, but not Adam. Look very carefully at Genesis chapter 5. It's the chapter that introduces this chapter. Vayechi Adam shloishimu ma'as shana. Adam lived 130 years. Vayoyled bidmusoi kitsalmoi. Vayikra eshmoi sheis. The Torah says that Sheis was created in the image of Adam. Now, you need to understand the magnitude of that. Listen up. Listen like you never listened in your life. How are we created in the image of God? After all, we were created by our mother and father. How did we get that neshama in us? So, in truth, because Shesh, the son of Adam, Seth, the son of Adam, was mapped on. It was digitally. Analog, you can't have an exact duplicate. But in digital, I'm using that in digital, you can reproduce something exactly because it's just numbers, okay? So Seth was digitally a recreation of Adam, and that's how we are. We are digitally created in the image of God based on Genesis chapter 5. Do you understand? If you understand this, you're going to be very high in your life. And we are an exact duplicate of the neshama that was given to Adam, because Adam was created by Hashem. I was created by my mother and my father. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of course, there are three partners to every. But how did I get the Chel Mimel Mamish? How did I become creating the image of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which we are? And therefore, this goes back to the previous question. And therefore, we are, our default is to be good, to serve Hashem. It's because of this shidduch that is advertised. It's shown for the world to see in Genesis 5. Okay? That's why Genesis 6 is coming up. What is the story which I can't say I'm sure, is a parable? What is going on there? Why do I need this? Whenever you read midrashic literature, you better ask the question like, why is it there? It's a cute story, but it sounds like something that belongs in a comic book. Why am I introduced to this? Now we can make sense over this midrashic literature that Rashi brings down. The problem with Rashi, in a matter of sense, is that they spoke very short words. They presume you understood. The angels becoming human, when did that happen? Did that happen through the copy and paste of Genesis chapter 5? Oh, that's so good. The copy and paste, you're making when you copy and paste in computer parlance, you're literally making a copy. Other things can't be copied exactly, but because you're copying just ones and zeros, so all you're doing is you're copying the digits. So you can actually make an exact replica in digital. So that's how we are all creating the image of God, because of that digital copy. And that's what comes into view in Genesis 5. Those angels, if they were made human, are they descendants of Adam Harishon? Are they descendants of Adam? There's a little smile on your beautiful face. Why are you smiling, Kindlech? Why are you smiling, you who was born from above, not from below? Because you just figured it out. It's really very delicious, but I need you, my holy brothers and sisters, listen. When you study this kind of literature that's very interesting, but it sounds infantile, then say, oh, Hashem. So what this medrash is seeking to bring out is, so what happens is the angels become humans, but do they get a copy and paste from Adam? No, they're not the sons of Adam. They were angels that were made human. Again, I don't believe this is historical at all. You're welcome. If you want to believe it's historical, fine. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. At the moment it matters, you don't understand it. What we're being told is that if you're an angel and then you become human, but you bypass the copy and paste of the previous chapter that introduced it, that means you don't have a chelik mal mamish, and then you have no chance against the power of Satan. And the only way you can have that power, the only way you can succeed, is that you have a neshama that is given to us by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Free will, although this is not intuitive, is from a biological standpoint, is completely illusory. Scientists know this, that from the biological, from our genetics, free will, we just think we have free will. We don't have it at all. If there's no God. If there's a God, so God gave you free will. Deuteronomy 30, verse 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. But all this, I'm telling you now, scientists who do not believe in God, that means they're not my friends. I mean, I hope they like me, but I'm not their friend. You know, guys like Sam Harris, professors of neuroscience from Stanford, these guys are not religious at all. They're avowed atheists, and they concede what I'm telling you, that there is no real free will that we have. We think we have free will, it's all baked in, it's all numbers, it's all programmed in. And therefore, if we have free will, the Torah is saying Hashem gave it to us as a gift. It's so mind-blowing. So what we want to do is we want to say, Hashem, I serve you and I serve no one else. I pray to you and I pray to no one else. I venerate you and no one else. When you understand the midrashim, the parables that are found in Chazal, in the words of our sages, they don't care if you think it's an angel or not. The story is you bypass the copy and paste found in Genesis 5:3, then you're done. You're smoke. Now, the reason it has to be people, of course, is because if they're angels, then they didn't drown. That's one of the sins that we encounter in Genesis chapter 6. As I said to you, that God can't be tempted. I mean, even the New Testament says that, and James and so on. That's all well known. Thank you for your insightful question and allowing me to take a little dance with you through Tanakh in a holy way. If you enjoyed this program, please like and subscribe.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא